we are live here at the launch site. There is a buzz in the background. We got So welcome to the stream. I'm going to be doing a few close-up shots of different things here, and we're going to get to see. You can see the tanks there are dented. The water tank on the left and the one to the right of that from the left is tank. The other two are looking good. We got some smoke here on the far right, and we'll get some shots, close-up shots. But one of the main things that we're not seeing on the launch site here is, you know, for some of you who have kids or something like that, the booster's gone. It didn't come back. So that's notable. You know, the Starship and the booster are not here at the launch site. They're not down by the build site. They're gone. So they have left the nest. Hey, Tony. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Hey, Devlin. We are here at the south side of the launch site looking directly at it north. There are some other photographers. They opened the road at 2 p.m., so they just opened it up and we're here. I guess I'll do a wide shot to start in a bit. We'll get a quick shot of the launch site here. The platform itself is looking good. The towers, you say it's scorched, Stephen? Okay. Get a little kind of a close-up shot of the platform there. Platform is looking good. Even the legs are looking decent. I'll get some other shots from the side to see if we can look at some of the area underneath. So we're looking north, and so from the right, I'll do a little. I won't pan too much, but I'll do a slow pan to the right here. And what you will see in about 45 degrees from here to the right, I like to show some of the other stuff in this scenery. You can see some of the other photographers here on site getting some of the shots. Good people. Still in town. So check out some of the other photographers. They're getting some great shots. We're all one consciousness. So that's me over there in the other body taking those photos. So I promote everybody here. We promote consciousness throughout the whole universe, life everywhere. So, all right, back to the show. Yeah, the land is, I guess, flattened. Tony mentions here. We'll get a shot to the left as well. Yeah, I'll go to the left before tilting up. See, they have security over here, getting some security done. Ground Zero, Nick, nice to see you. Nick Steele in the house. So I know there were some photos beneath the platform where it was a huge, what is it called? A huge, where a meteor hits and you get the thing underneath. You get where it gets rid of all the soil and everything else, and you got the big thing in the ground. What's that called? Crater. The crater. So from this shot, I don't necessarily see a crater. There is. You can see there is rubble everywhere. We'll get some shots of that. Even on the way, yeah, chunks everywhere, says Stephen. Tony says crater. You can see there's concrete everywhere, so that is true. There is concrete everywhere. Even on the road drive here, there was concrete. Even there's steel along the way walking out here. There was steel, just like the skin of a aircraft or a booster or something like that. There was, you know, on the road and next to the side of the road. There is plenty of SpaceX booster Starship steel. Yep. Paul says maybe they need to do a flame trench. I believe in that too. And rebar everywhere and rubble. So let me see if I can get some close-up shots of the ground here. So this is everywhere around the site, 360, all this concrete stuff. They had a bunch of guys, I guess, moving stuff off the road earlier before at the 12 noon time. They moved a bunch of people in, and I guess they were working on clearing stuff even then. But yeah. Anyway, but it's manageable. This isn't something out of this world. I think the kind of the biggest thing that I see is you know, you got the water tank over there, got some dents in it. Yeah, those two tanks on the left are water tanks. So, you know, water tanks can be replaced very easily or pushed back out. I'm not sure if these two tanks on the left have an inner tank in those two. Probably, because the left tank there was originally for methane. So there was a left tank over there, and it's originally for methane. So that was maybe a double shielded tank, or possibly once they figured out that this tank over here couldn't be used for methane, maybe they just I know they put it. I believe they put this tank here quickly onto the pad, but maybe they didn't double sleeve it like they did the liquid nitrogen tanks. But if they did double sleeve this water tank over here, then they could easily just probably bang that out and make it good. Let's get a shot vertical. I guess maybe a close-up shot of the tanks here first, since we're here. Yeah, the crater, I'll get some shots of that too. I'll have to move to the right from here and get a shot from the east. I'm directly south of the pad right now. Let me tilt down a little bit, and I'll zoom in on the base here from this position. Let me lock it in. So there are people walking around on the surrounding property picking up stuff, and who work for SpaceX, and so there are some people walking around picking stuff up. And I don't know what it is, but there is that thing over there to the left. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it was one of those temporary pressure units for when they're moving the Starship over or something like that. But I don't know if it's damaged or not, but there on the left, there's that piece of metal. Cryo station? Okay. Yeah, Turtle. Alan, I believe so. I believe so. So we'll go up now. We'll check out the tower. And, you know, this is a tremendous, an amazing event. We can see that the booster and the Starship did clear the tower. Yes. And so nothing really got damaged here, I would say, except for underneath the launch pad. We may lose reception as I tilt the phone up. This is a sketchy maneuver in the past, so we'll see. And I'll zoom in on the chopsticks, etc. If you're so I believe this was a tremendous event. I mean, it was tremendous. It's the first time SpaceX called it the integrated. I believe the first integrated launch of the what is it? Maybe Gwynn said the first integrated launch of the booster and Starship. And so integrated means you know, when you have them stacked and they launch together. So yeah, it was the first stacked integrated launch that they ever had, and it cleared everything. It you know, the chopsticks look good. The quick disconnect looks good. Maybe they have a desert camo tan to them. Maybe the paint got a little bit desert colored, a little light more. Instead of being pitch black, the chopsticks are now a cool lighter color. But they look totally fine. They may need a little bit more lubrication so they don't squeak as much after getting fire toasted. Also tilt down. So they are definitely moving us forward here. It's SpaceX. The whole team. This is another area where I see a little bit of damage, but this was the purpose of these. I believe these the shields here on the side of the tower were to protect it. So there was a few holes in it we're seeing, but mostly it's good. And possibly the winch here in the little hut on the left there. Let me get my hand right over here. We can see some holes in that. But you know, it looks great. This is one of those fixer-uppers. If you're into buying real estate, this is what we would call maybe a fixer-upper. It needs a little bit of paint here and there, maybe a new carpet. Other than that, you know, it's great. It's great to be out here. So one of the concerns was that if the booster or the Starship did blow up on the launch pad, that maybe this whole site would be demolished. So this is probably a best case scenario for the first launch. We saw the booster and the Starship. The booster, I mean, just took off pretty, not slow, but at a good pace. It launched here and kept moving up, and people over there at the South Padre Island, I was watching the video too on the SpaceX live stream, and I saw a lot of other people's stuff on Twitter of the launch, and it looked like from South Padre Island you couldn't necessarily see it moving up so fast or quick, but on the SpaceX live stream we could see that it was moving up at a steady stream, and then it took off pretty quick out of here. Yeah, and it launched on 4/20, April 20th. You know, Elon mentioned on Twitter, I believe it was, that we're in the video, that 4/20 is really just 10 times 42. And since Elon is not yet, I will get on this video, and I won't, I don't want to ruin it for everybody. Since Elon is not yet an experiencer of the out-of-body states, when Elon is much more wise and advanced, he will have conscious knowledge of the deeper states of awareness of being, the out-of-body states. So, but he did mention that 4/20 is just 10 times 42, and since one of his favorite movies is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and in that movie they figured that the computer that they built after many years, this advanced or semi-advanced race which had not yet discovered spirituality, when they asked the computer, what is the meaning of the universe, what is the meaning of life, they came out with the answer 42. So Elon has mentioned quite knowledgeably and intelligently that 4/20 is just 10 times 42. So if you wanted to 10x the meaning of life, 4/20 is the answer. 4/20. Some other people may have other associations with the name or the number 4 or the date 4/20, but the only one I can imagine or come up with or understand is the 10 times 42. Yeah, the question, I guess Jeff was saying the question was the biggest thing. Jeff. I think the next thing we have to see is Elon Musk at the top of the tower there waving at everybody on camera or something like that. That would be the ultimate. Hey guys, it's good up here. The tower's still good. Everything is fine. You know, also right now might be the best time to open up some bungee jumping here at the tower, since it can't get damaged any more than it is. If SpaceX wanted to hype up the area a little bit, they could open it up to international bungee jumpers for a period of 5 days, and maybe for a small fee, and then they could apply that fee toward the conservation of the area and cleanup of the beach and everything else. The funds raised from the bungee jumpers could be used to clean up the area a little bit and make it more hospitable. The draw works. Okay, Uriel. Okay, I'll see if I can get that shot. Tower cams are still there. Oh, good, good. The biggest bong rip in history, says Paul Shields. Okay, good stuff. Yeah, Paul Allen. I know RGV. I've met him a few times. Good people. On the deflector wall near the bottom. Let me see. Yeah, I'll see if I can get a shot of that. Just a minute. Let's get some more close-up shots. Yeah, it does look abandoned. That's correct. It does. It does look abandoned. I'm using a iPhone 13 here, and it's doing a good job. The highway is fine. There's just some debris and rubble on the side of the road here and there. I'll go down in little spurts. We'll go down a little bit by a little bit. I'll get some 4K imagery after this as well, so I will be uploading a few more videos, much shorter videos of just some of the area. I'll get it in 4K. Hey, DeKeenan, nice. For those of you who are watching or here on site, congratulations for making it. I was up in Ohio working at a power plant there, and I managed to make about maybe $1,300 in a week, 7-day period, working at a power plant up there. So that allows me to be here and keep going for a good while. What is the deflector? So what are we looking at? Where's the deflector, and where should I look for that? Hey Fernan, 2S. I saw the launch on the SpaceX live stream. Asking about the DJI mount, Ryan Swinghammer. I have a DJI mount, but I don't use it. Initially, it was just compressing my iPhone screen too much, and I was concerned that it would cause damage to the screen, but I do have one. More to the right? Okay, let me... I think I understand what you're saying here. The wall back there, the white wall that we're seeing, the berm kind of thing, that's in perfect condition. So if they built a bigger or taller, that's a good thing we could move on to, a good segue. Let me, just a minute, I'll get to that in a minute. Let me just get a little bit more of the ground here. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out. We'll get a segue into that. Still more to the right? Okay, just a minute. minute. Sir Chris, am I there, or should I keep moving? The berm, I got you. Sam, it's not zoomed in very far. I'm actually very close to the launch site here, maybe about 200 feet away from the south, looking north. Get here on camera. Yeah, so the site here has a bunch of stakes around it, and that marks out this is the Dogleg Park LLC, Dogleg Park LLC, and so as long as you stay outside of that, so far it seems like you're good. So that's how some of the other photographers and myself are able to get here and get these shots. Just about 200 feet. No, yeah, you can't go any closer than this, Andrew. There are some stakes, and there is a security guard watching the whole site. Yeah, Dave, I think in about maybe 20 minutes I'll go to the right and get the shot of the looking from the east, looking west underneath the launch platform, and I'll be able to see probably the crater underneath there. Yeah, it did make it out to the ocean, that's correct. Zoom in on the panels on the tower. Okay, yeah, I can do that. Yeah. We'll zoom in from here at some of the stuff and work our way left. I'm not sure what that venting over there is, but that's typically an area where we see a lot of venting, and then it just gets bigger as they're doing more stuff. Yeah, one of the questions, how can they prevent this kind of damage in the future? Yeah, well, it's been said that they were planning to maybe put in something underneath the platform there, and they didn't get around to it. You know, maybe it's more of a spending the money type of thing. When you have money, then you can spend it to do improvements on your house or something. And I heard that they wanted to put something underneath them, but they didn't get around to it, or they chose not to do it before the first launch. So they do have plans to put something underneath there, which can make this not happen in the future. But if you were, okay, so maybe it's, if you're afraid that maybe it would blow up the whole site, then maybe putting a little improvement underneath the platform there wouldn't be much of a concern. If your main concern was that it didn't blow up, then, let me think of an analogy. Let me see. Okay, here's an analogy. Say you buy a new car or a used car, and you're wondering if it's going to work or take you across country, and the windshield is cracked. Then maybe you're not going to spend the money to get a new windshield before you go on the trip. Maybe you just want to go on the trip, and then when you get where you're going to get a new windshield after you get where you're going. So that's kind of like this. They were kind of concerned that it might just blow up. There was a decent chance that might happen, because they'd never flown this type of integrated launch into off of this site here. And so instead of fixing the windshield, they just they launch it. Yeah, they could put water underneath. That's correct. I saw some other stuff about maybe they could put 4 large kind of alleyways underneath and funnel the water in. Yeah. Hey, Rob. Black Reaper. Yeah, I don't know. The platform looks decent to me. It may need an upgrade here and there. Yeah, Gabriel mentions maybe what about the vibrations? Yeah. I get a shot of the orbital launch platform. Yeah, we'll look for the crater in a few minutes. Let me get a shot of this because that was the first question there.
What's up, man?
Good, good. Yeah, the drone is having a drone is off limits here. Okay, Seth Count says Elon just said they're building a water-cooled flame diverter, but it wasn't done in time for this launch. Oh, thanks, Seth. That's awesome. Yeah, the tower is still here. I guess I'll get a little toward the base of the tower. I haven't done that yet. You can see some steel kind of just on the ground there. Let me lock this in. We have quite a bit of wind right now. Yeah, I believe this is, like Gabriel says, just surface damage mostly. Okay, I gotta fix the tripod here. Get a close-up shot of the launch platform there. Just a moment. I'm gonna lock it in here. Just get it on. So we know the orbital launch platform got, maybe this is something we should talk about. The orbital launch platform was directly in the midst of the flames and everything else, right? It was 100% scorched by the 33 Raptor engines, but it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. So one of my questions is, if they did the whole ground in some type of steel like we're seeing here, would that be the solution to, if they covered the ground with steel? Would that be a fix for the maybe they could attach it to the launch platform itself, to the legs there, and have steel covering the ground, and maybe that would be the answer. Instead of concrete, just have steel. We do Space Ocean Corp. We own land about a mile from here, northwest of here, about a mile. And so we got that property last year, and we're going to be here into the future. You know, we may not make it to the launches and everything, but we are growing as a team. We're a team of 14 professionals now, and we're going to hire another 5 or 6 people in the next few days, maybe start tomorrow. We have a bunch of project managers that applied to our recent job position, and 51 people applied in 4 hours. And so there were about 7 people in there that were hireable, people that we would want on the team. And 6 of them are going to come to our team meeting tomorrow. And probably a good number of them, if not all of them, are going to join the team. And so we'll be a team of maybe 20 starting next week. And we're going to be about 90 people probably by the time September rolls around. That's the goal here. But we're moving the mission to Enceladus forward. We have trajectory data. I wanted to put this out here. There are people who are very detailed at doing trajectories, and there's a very limited number of those people who have worked for 5 or 10 years, either at JPL, NASA, Southwest Research Institute, or some of the other companies who need those very detailed trajectory. I'm trying to remember the word. There's a special word for the people who do the trajectories, but we're looking for one of those people here at Space Ocean Corp to do the very detailed trajectories around some of the moons and planets that we would need to get to Enceladus. So if you know of one, or if you are a trajectory designer, we'd like to offer you a very nice, cushy opportunity, not just to work, but the stock options that you would get. Pretty considerable. If you'd like to join the team, send me an email, paul@spaceoceancorp.com. That's one of the most necessary things, in addition to having a great spacecraft and great machinery. You need the trajectory stuff to be accurate. So we have a guy on the team who's been working on it, and someone who's been assisting him, but you need a very special software, and if you have it at home, that's even better. But that's not something you want to, it's a very sought after skill. All right, back to the site here. I don't see any chat. There's no chat showing up on the screen here. So that's why I'm not replying to anything, but maybe everybody's just holding their breath. Get a close-up shot, closer shot than we're looking at here. That is one of the security, but that's a good size. You can see the gentleman there on the left, and that's how big this is. Okay, so before I was mentioning that maybe they would want to build that wall there taller, because the wall itself looks good. You know, this wall that we're seeing behind the overlaunch platform, if they were to build it to the height of the tanks, that would definitely prevent anything from hitting the tanks in the future. There's probably some type of concern that maybe the wall itself would get demolished, like underneath the launch pad there, but maybe since it's not a direct, in the direct line of fire of the Raptor engines, then it would survive and not be an issue. yeah, welcome to the stream, and hit the subscribe button if you like what you're seeing. We'll be doing this more into the next probably 60 years. We'll be here for the next at least 60 years. Space Ocean Corp. And you might not just see us here, but we may soon be up there in space in the next 10 years is our goal. We'll be up in space within 10 years. I'll go to the right, and then we'll come back to the base of the platform there and get some shots of the rubble, etc. So many things I want to see. There was a gentleman I interviewed maybe 1 or 2 years ago. His name is Cole Adams. And in the interview we had, it was maybe in my first year here, 2021, I believe, maybe. Cole was mentioning how he had like $100 million worth of Tesla investors wanting to invest into SpaceX. And he said it was just so hard to get through the email, to get his email through to SpaceX to be able to buy the stock in SpaceX. And so in 2021, Cole once again had $100 million worth of investors wanting to invest in SpaceX, and he just couldn't get through. Another thing, funny as hell. I mean, it's totally funny. Another thing I've heard is that in kind of the earlier days of SpaceX, Elon, I guess he had his routing number and his account number somewhere where people could send money to invest in SpaceX. And he said, what I remember hearing is that Elon had said that he would just see money show up in his account, and I guess in the company. People would just show up, money would just show up in the account. There was a lady kind of going inside the stakes here, and the security was letting the lady know she had to back up. Some people going inside the boundaries here, and not good. So there are a number of people coming around to check things out. It's understandable. I got a shot here to the left too. We'll get a view of the crane that's laying down on the ground. And a view to the left of these. get a shot here to the left here. There we go. It's a Starship Gazer there on the left. Checking things out, getting some shots. The site to the left there looks good. You know, they're gonna have to go through everything and make sure there's no punctures in these water deluge tanks, some of the other stuff. Everything's gonna have to get probably combed over very closely. But looks great, looks great. I'll get some close-up shots of this too, just a minute. Maybe they'll bring in a much larger water deluge collection system. I don't know how many thousands of gallons that is, but here at Space Ocean Corp, we're looking to get 100,000 gallons collected from one of the moons of Enceladus. One of the moons of Saturn is called Enceladus. It has a 25-mile deep ocean. If anyone here knows how many gallons these tanks are, sometimes these tanks that we're looking at here are about 20,000 gallons. I don't know what the rating is on these tanks here, but we're looking to do 100,000 gallons of water from Enceladus. So if these are 10 or 20,000 gallon tanks, imagining that's 4 tanks there, for the water deluge. If that is 40,000 gallons, then we would need 10 of those on the ocean cameras, on the Space Ocean Corp mission to Enceladus. If those are 20,000 gallon tanks, we would need just one more tank on our satellite going to Enceladus and to collect that 100,000 gallons of water. So the water deluge tanks here look good. They're looking good. Get back to the right. Let me fix the tripod here. I'll keep it how it is. David P., nice to see you. If you'd like to see the building of this site here, we've got a lot of videos. If you're able to go to the video section here, or maybe the playlist here on the channel, I got video of the building of this whole site here, and you can see them lifting up these tanks and placing them into position. They did a bunch of stuff a while back where they were, when they were doing the initial concrete on the pad here, I got video of that as well. They used wood, and they just typically you got the wood, and then you got the rebar in the wood, and they pour the concrete. So I got all that video. If you go back to the 2021 time frame, you could watch that in pretty high quality video. Yeah, Paul Kazjak. Yeah, Enceladus there's some moons here in the solar. There's over 200 confirmed moons in the solar system, and I've been told. Initially, I was told that solar system is our sun is called Sol, so it's called solar system. But there aren't other solar systems out there necessarily, and the solar system is a word typically used just for our system here. But there's over 200 moons in the solar system. I think Enceladus now has 82 or 83. I mean, Saturn has 82 or 83 moons around it, and 20 of those are relatively recent. Jupiter has the same, almost the same number. It has a lot of moons in the 70 or 80s. So just those two planets have many moons. and then there in the asteroid belt there are a lot of other moons. But I did an interview here. You can watch it on the channel from 2021 with Dr. Caitlin Ahrens. It hasn't gotten a lot of views. It's one of those lower viewed videos, but it was very impactful. And she's one of those. She was, or she still is, I'm not sure, at Goddard Space Flight Center. Today is April 22nd, 2023. It's a Saturday, and she had said that it's been confirmed that most of the moons in the solar system, and there's over 200 moons, have water. If we look at the moon itself, they've been finding I believe the Chinese found little kind of almost like pebble-like water things. I think the Indians, their space agency, did some imagery of the south pole of the moon, and it has like these pebbles almost like of water on the south pole of the moon. And I will check out the chat in the restream, but one of the issues getting to the water is in the at least in some of the craters on the moon, it gets like negative 180 Celsius or something like that. And it's not only is it hard to power your ships in that type of cold, but the electronics and the metal become brittle, and it's hard to stay there when you get there. I mean, you could drop something into one of those craters and scourge around for the water, but it's hard to keep your ship viable. And there's probably a lot of technologies they could do, but there is some type of glass material that can be used to make some of these cryo stuff that doesn't need lubrication and stuff like that. So there is some glass type of technology which has come out and is being developed, which I'm actively looking into. Okay, I'll do some close-up shots, get some shots here. This is what plugs into the base of the booster. It gives it all its power and stuff. This whole thing rolls back to the left, and then the connectors stick out of this box unit that we're seeing in the center of the screen. We've got a lot of wind right now. That's why the camera's shaking around. Oh, behind the tower? Okay, sure, I'll check that out. Let's go check that out. Nicholas, this is as close as we can get. There is I'm currently outside of the stakes here. They have staked out the area. This is just the boundary of the property, or so as long as we're outside of the boundary, so far it's been fine to be here. You can see the security there just at the base of that area there. I think maybe some of that was from the concrete rubble hitting it and making the holes. Yeah, they are armed. Thanks, Jill. Nice to see you here. Elongated, nice to see you. Fundage is, yeah, flying fundage, that's correct. Zoom in on the tower, yeah, I'll do that in a little bit. Let's get the base of the platform here. Yeah, this debris we're seeing here isn't just around the launch pad, it's everywhere, probably within a quarter mile. I would say maybe almost a quarter mile from the launch pad we see this type of debris. I'm going to go out a little bit later to the beach and see how the beach is. I'm going to tilt down here with the camera. Yeah, I can walk left and right, but I can't walk toward it. This is as close as we can get. I could go forward a little bit, about 10 more feet, but it's not really worth it. I have some of my camera sitting on the ground there, just to the front, in front of us. Yeah, the tank farm does look usable. It does. The only damage, so I'll kind of, I guess, review a little bit on the tank farm, how it was put together. I'm not an engineer, so you can't quote me on anything here, but we see a few nicks on some of the other tanks to the right. There's something up there, and just below the light, I'll zoom in on some of the tank areas just briefly. We can see the tank on the right has a few things, and just below the light there is some damage to that tank there. Those are these two tanks on the right are liquid oxygen, but those are just the outer tanks, parts of them. So I imagine since there's an inner sleeve to those two tanks on the right, these two tanks are liquid oxygen. There's another one in front of that on the far side, liquid oxygen. Since those are maybe just minor damage, they could put a plate over that and weld it if it did perforate through it. It looks to be just maybe there's some cracks in the tank now or something like that, but they could probably just fix that with some welding. The tanks to the left of that, this tank here was originally going to be used for water. It's got the water spout on it. You can see there the water spout. But I was told that, or I heard that they ended up not using it for water. Maybe they changed something along the way, and so I wasn't sure of this tank here, what they were using it for. But it was really scheduled for water. But we see a good amount of damage on the tank there. But maybe it doesn't matter if it was never really being used for anything. The SpaceX drone is above us right now. Yeah, so I'll check out the tower now too. I will zoom out and check out the tower. If you want to do some screenshots, take a screenshot. I can zoom out again a little bit too if you want to take some screenshots. I'll zoom in a little bit too. Maybe want to get a close-up screenshot. This is, I think we're looking at 720 pixelation here. Maybe it's a little bit lower, but I will do some 4K video after this. Yeah, Rich and Leo, they have found, yeah, that's a good question. Have they found any parts of the Starship? I don't know. I have seen some metal hanging around here on the ground, on the walk out here, and I don't know if that's from the booster, the Starship, or maybe something else. But there is metal strewn around on the ground along the pathway walking here, and even along the road. I'm not sure of any army base around here, World Explorer. That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know about that. This is, if you zoom out on the Google Maps and look here, one of the cool things I was seeing recently, yesterday I believe, I was on a flight here from Ohio. Maybe it was the final flight from Houston to Brownsville Airport, International Airport, Brownsville International Airport. And if you look at the coastline, this from if you say from Florida, if you follow up and around as the coast comes down, you get past the Corpus Christi area, and then you come to this Matamoros, Brownsville, Boca Chica area. The land, the coastline goes out a bit. Almost it curves out, kind of curves out, and you have like almost like that type of a shape, maybe kind of a sway in the coastline. So this area, Boca Chica here, pokes out a bit into the ocean. North it goes west. The coastline goes in as you go north. I mean, it forms a kind of a coastline goes up and around at the Boca Chica area. All right, check out the tower once more. All right, my tripod's moving around a bit here. Yeah, the chopsticks look great. I'll get a shot of the quick disconnect as well. If you're on LinkedIn, you know. Huh? Yeah. Who are you? And
I was down here a couple times and met you. In fact, we talked the day that they the first time they stacked it.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. I was trying to get a hold of Mary and some other guys and say, wake up, Paul, and tell them to get down here, because they rolled it out and they didn't let us know.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Larry.
Nice.
I used to follow you a lot.
Cool.
And,
I've wandered around a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
All right.
Were you able to see it launch?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we've been there for a week, so.
Okay. Nice. Cool.
We're here Monday and nothing happened, and Thursday it happened.
Awesome.
I'm glad to see you again.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Take care.
Thanks for saying all. Okay, Larry is a guy named Larry stopped by. We were talking there. Yeah, we'll get the shot. I'll get the shot of the orbital launch mount in a bit. I'll have to walk there and get that shot. I'll probably do a second live stream from the east and get that shot. Do you like a 360 pan? That's a good question. Cool, Rob. You're welcome. Rob B. Thank you. Yeah, I'll do a 360 pan. There are a bunch of people we can get on the shot here. And it's worth noting that when I do the pan, sometimes we lose reception. But here we go. I will do a 360 here. Heiko V from Germany. Hello. Hey Patricia, nice to see you here. Hey Miguel, Angel, Codesal Lobo. The family guy is here. Awesome. World Explorer. Michael Sullivan, good to see you. Yeah, you can see a bunch of people having fun, checking it out. Yeah, it is isolated, Miguel. Left-handed, nice to see you. Gonzalo in the house. This is looking directly south. So in this direction, about 2 to 3 miles, we got the border. Mexico is in that direction, about 2 to 3 miles. The soil is dry. It doesn't look like it's rained anytime soon, but there is metal strewn around on the soil here. I'll get a shot. You can see some metal rebar there just sticking out of the ground. That noise is coming from the tower area. I'm not sure what the noise is. I noticed that when I first got here as well. Kind of some type of buzzing or ringing or something. Rob B, awesome, welcome. Falcon Heavy member. All right, we're looking southeast now, about almost directly southeast. I'm keeping the wind to my back here. I think it's awesome how so many people have come out and we're seeing people here. You know, typically in the past, it's only been maybe 1 or 2 photographers that would venture out here just south of the launch site, around the launch pad. Maybe that'll change in the future. We won't have access to this area, but as long as we do have access, it's great that people are coming out and checking it out also. That's the ocean. We're looking east. The ocean is that way. Directly, that's the Gulf of Mexico. I gotta fix my tripod here. This kind of reminds me of Mars too. Yeah, that's correct. You know, we see boulders on Mars, or I think I have seen boulders on Mars in some of those photos, and that's kind of what it reminds me of. Yeah, I don't know the history of Mars. I mean, there's been a lot of speculation. Maybe there was a civilization there, and you know, I was reading something recently. There is a guy who's talking about the alpha particles and stuff as they hit a planet, that maybe sometimes the water gets taken away from the planet, depending on the types of particles that are hitting it. So maybe what we've seen with Mars, with the lack of water there in large scale, maybe that was just due to some type of particulate interacting with the water the water on the surface there. It's said that maybe the Earth is losing some of its water over time too, so that's something to be keep an eye on if there is some type of solar interaction going on there. I've got an article which talks about it. I was reading it this past week. There's Ganymede, the moon, one of the moons in our solar system, has over 10 times more water than there is on the Earth. So if we wanted to resupply or get more water, we can go to some of these moons where there is more water than there is on the Earth, confirmed more water, and use it. We could use it, no matter what happens here on the Earth, we'll always have access to water.
I don't get it. This is stupid.
I don't know why they didn't let people watch from right here.
Right. It's not like something launched from here, right? That chopstick is just burnt. Yeah. I love how only the left one is.
I know, right? That is weird. You're right.
I mean, I guess it did kind of.
I mean, so like if we look at it, it lifted off, and then it started tilting this way.
Right on over us. Right.
Okay. Yep. There's some other facts I'd like to just get some feedback on. I was looking up. We live in the time of artificial intelligence, AI, and there's Open AI, and there's several. There's Genie, ChatGPT. If you haven't used it yet, Open AI. Check it out. But you can try it out. They have a thing where you can try it out, and I was asking, what is the what is the you're good. Look at that. What is the percentage of the hydrogen in Saturn's atmosphere? And it's about 96, 97%. I think it's 96% hydrogen in the atmosphere of Saturn, and helium makes up 3% of the atmosphere on Saturn. But the gravity on Saturn is about 106% of the Earth's gravity. So Saturn has about 6% more gravity than the Earth does. And one of the cool things about that information is, we use hydrogen as a fuel here on the Earth, and possibly we could extract some of that hydrogen from the very thin atmosphere of Saturn to fuel our rockets and spaceships once we get out there into deeper space. the atmospheric pressure on Saturn apparently is 100 times that of the Earth, and the temperature in the upper atmosphere is about negative 100 to 200 Celsius, and the surface temperature is around 20 something. There is no surface. I've heard there's no surface to Saturn, but as you get closer toward it, it gets toward the 20 something thousand Celsius above, positive, in the positive direction. If any of you have any thoughts about gathering hydrogen from Saturn, send us a message. I'd like to learn more. If any of you have a technology that we can use in space, or have you heard about some type of technology that could be used on a space mission, there is something called, I'd like to learn more. So I'm on LinkedIn, Space Ocean Corp. We're collecting the different technologies that are available to us. Mainly we're looking at cryo temperature technologies, but if you know of a way to collect snow remotely, say 100,000 gallons of snow, and if you know a piece of machinery that can do that, I am interested. One of the interesting power technologies out there is lattice fusion containment. Lattice fusion containment. It's something that NASA is working on, and it's a way. Once you get past the asteroid belt out there with Mars, there's all that debris from maybe another moon that got exploded, or a planet. If you look at some of the Sitchin stuff, he talks about some of the wars in the past between the different civilizations, that possibly there was another planet or moon that got exploded, and that's where we got that asteroid belt from. I'm not sure where it came from, and I'm not sure if any of that stuff is true, but if there is some technology we can use to, once we get past that asteroid belt after Mars, that's where we get the, NASA has said that the solar panels don't work so well once you get into the colder, deeper space past Mars. So that's why we can't really use solar panels on those deeper space missions. I mean, you can, but you might need a big solar panel, or maybe one of the newer high efficiency solar panels where they stack the different cells on top of each other. That's a possibility. But battery says, cat says batteries. Yeah, one of the issues with batteries is, in the colder space, it does affect all types of electronics. But also, for every pound you send up into space, it's per kilogram. It's costly just to get into low Earth orbit. But once you want to get something past low Earth orbit into the deeper space, it's going to cost even more money to get out of the local gravity well of the Earth, Moon. But if you know of any technologies, or if you know someone working in the space industry, or someone who's very high tech as far as science, we're looking for all types of people to see what they're up to, what kind of papers are filing in the research collection of papers. We're looking for all types of not only technologies, but to advance the civilization here on the Earth, different ways of purifying water, so many different technologies to make the Earth better, make everybody's life better. And yep. Cool. Nice walking stick.
What's that?
Nice walking
Yeah,
stick.
that's what I was going to use it for.
Yeah, that's right.
It's too damn heavy.
Okay.
This thing is heavy as shit. That's at least 10 pounds.
There was some footage of some of the cameras. I'm going to get some other live stream shots, at least from the main gate in front of the. I've done a bunch of live streams, and one of them is from the main gate, looking from the north in the opposite direction of where we're looking now. and just to get a comparison to some of the previous photos before it all gets cleaned up too much. This is as close as we can get. Madsy Patsy. Weather on Saturn. I like that, Ian. That's good stuff. Lorschek. Molse. The road is relatively clean, yes, but to the sides of the road there is rubble and stuff like that. Citizen Faid. Scrooge McDuck. Awesome. Nice to see you here, Scrooge. I used to read those comics. I was international during the summers. We would go out to Greece and we would read some of those comic books. And they had this Scrooge McDuck where he's swimming through the gold coins. Scrooge is a funny cartoon-ish character. And it was a comic book, at least overseas, where they would have Scrooge swimming in all of his money. They didn't have those types of comic books as far as I could find here in the United States, but they do overseas. One of the interesting things I saw this week on LinkedIn, there's a company out on the West Coast. It's a relatively new company. They've been in business for about 6 months, and they're looking to do a water. They're looking to collect water from the moon. It's not our company, but another company, and they're looking to provide what's it called? They're looking to provide tug services in low Earth orbit or possibly in higher orbits to using some of the water as a fuel, using a radio frequency to turn the water into a plasma that they get from the moon. So they would get the water cubicles or things from the moon, they would scoop it up or whatever, get the water, and then they would use a radio frequency or some other type of thing to turn it into a plasma. And as it did that, as it exited an engine or a nozzle, they would use it as a propulsion. So they're looking to do a trip to the moon, collect the water, come back to the lower Earth orbit, and provide propulsive lifting services for different craft and refueling. Pretty interesting. That came out yesterday on LinkedIn. Scrooge, I haven't seen Elon out here, but I'm sure he was here a few days ago. While this area was clear and closed, I'm sure he had access, or somebody had access to come out here and check it out. Yeah. Hi, Miguel. Yeah, I think these silos are pretty important, but I think the more delicate ones on the right are these two here, and then on the far side are the other ones. So we see these two middle ones here. The two in front of that on the far side are nitrogen, liquid nitrogen on the far side. So these two here on the back are, these two here are liquid oxygen, and this is apparently water, and this is water too, but the two important ones on the back here are these two here, and they look pretty good. Hi, Jack Frost in the house. Yeah, okay, so I will venture to another angle and get the shot of the underneath the platform there. How long, Vicky asks, how long does it take to repair? Yeah, that's a good. Oh, the launch ring itself. I don't know. I haven't seen any tremendous damage to the ring there. The orbital launch platform itself, the top there, it looks good to me. So I don't know if they have to repair that, but the underneath the base there, from the east, when I get that shot, we'll be able to see. Apparently, there's like a depression in the ground underneath. That's why we're seeing all this concrete strewn on the ground here from the base of the platform over there. That's where all this concrete rubble came from, and we are seeing quite a bit of rubble here. I'll get a kind of a close-up shot of that. Yeah, the crater. All this concrete that we're seeing around here is from, I believe, underneath the orbital launch platform. So it all came from somewhere. You can see in the background there, that is the build site in the background over there. But you can see some rebar over there. So this all came from the orbital launch platform underneath it. Hey, Content Center. This is outside of the SpaceX property. So as long as you can see some stakes there in the center of the screen, and everybody is kind of standing to the left of the stakes over there. I'll use my other hand to show you. This is the boundary here. You can see some of these stakes over here, and so they're staying outside. To the right is SpaceX property, or is really Dog Lake Park LLC. Maybe they rent it from Dog Lake LLC. And to the left, we can see people are standing to the left there. So we're outside of the SpaceX area over there. There is a drone overhead, a SpaceX drone, checking things out. That is the SpaceX drone, hovering kind of low, about maybe 200 feet, checking things out. Yeah, Wayuxu. How do we know it's SpaceX drone? Because they're the only ones with permission to fly in this airspace right now. This is closed to all other drones. They have a special drone license to fly in the area. It also looks like the SpaceX drone. The chopsticks appear to be in good condition. If this were on another moon, say the moon has cold areas and it has warm areas, and one of the thoughts I've had, maybe somebody knows this, you know, when you have a cool area and a warm area, if you're able to connect them by some type of maybe a piece of copper, like there are craters on the moon, very shaded areas with very negative Celsius temperatures, and then other areas of the moon very close to those craters. Outside of the craters, it's sunny, so you have a temperature gradient there. And I'm wondering, is it not possible to? It is possible, but I'll ask: is it not possible to create some type of a battery using those two locations in close proximity to create some type of battery? Or once we get that capability, whether it's some type of closed loop water system or maybe a steam system, if you have water in a very high temperature, then you can kind of create steam, right? And if you're able to have that steam turn a turbine, maybe that can be used to generate electricity in those areas of the moon where it's hard to get a solar panel. You know, it's too cold for some of the electronics or whatever. But if we can learn to harness the capability there's an area of the moon that's always shaded from the sun, or the side of the moon that always faces the Earth, right? The moon doesn't turn on its axis in relation to the Earth. It always stays the same side facing the Earth. And yes, the moon has sunny days and shaded days, but that gradient in the sun versus in the shade is pretty significant. And there ought to be a way to turn that into power. Yeah, here on the Earth, we have sun, we have the daytime and the nighttime, but it's not as extreme as an area. Apparently the moon doesn't have an atmosphere. That's what we've been told. The moon does not have an atmosphere, according to NASA and other space agencies. But if that is in fact correct, the moon does not have an atmosphere. And if the temperature swings, I believe Neil Armstrong, I believe, was saying that one of the issues with staying on the moon when they first got there, longer than a few hours, was that it was so hot, and that the temperature outside the capsule in that area where they landed was so warm. So air conditioning is one of the big issues when you get to the moon in the sunny times. So if we can learn to harness that as an energy, then we can turn on some air conditioners and all the other important things that we care about and need to spend more time on the moon. Yeah, Foxy Tissy. Yeah, I have no idea what that sound is. It is here, though. We can hear it. I can hear it. One of the cool things about Enceladus that I've heard about recently is that it does have an atmosphere. And initially, when you think about some of the moons of Saturn, they say a lot of them don't have any atmosphere, etc. Anytime you go to one of these planets or moons, it's good if it has an atmosphere, because then you can kind of slow down your craft as you approach it, and it's maybe easier to slow down when you get there. I think slowing down is one of the harder things for space exploration when you're going to some of these asteroids or moons, especially if you're going to be if you're going to be landing on an asteroid or something. So So if there is an atmosphere on Enceladus, which it appears there is at least some type of atmosphere, then it would help make a mission there much easier. Give me a thumbs up if you'd like to see this. I'm going to stay here a longer time and get some more video of this. Otherwise, I can move to another location and or put a message in the chat here, say stay here for a while longer, or go to the spot where I can see the view of the crater underneath the platform. Should I stay here a while longer, or should I move and get the other shot? Augustin Giolongo. Beach would be cool. Stuwuk. Okay. Crater? Okay. Great. Yeah, a bunch of y'all have been here a while saying crater. Okay. Okay, I'm going to, I could walk it over there, but I was thinking I might end the live stream and then go live again from the other spot. Do you want to see me carrying around this camera and the view changing every now and then, or should I stay live and just move everything? Stay live. It'd take me like 5 minutes to get to the spot where we can see the crater. Stay live. Okay. Walk it. Stay live. Okay, I will. Let me get my stuff, and we'll start moving. Okay, I have the mic in my hand. I'm going to turn it off while I walk so the wind, we don't hear the wind. Here we go, I'm turning off the mic. We're going to stay live. I'm going to walk about 5 minutes and then we'll keep the stream going. Okay, let me know if we're back with audio.
That's Jack, right? Yeah. None of them seem super talkative either. Well, they're probably exhausted. Yeah, that's right.
Good, good, good. Thanks, guys. Patricia,
I wish I would have caught
Winder, Water, Ricardo.
What's up, Paul?
Hey, nice to see you. Anthony. Piper's all good. So this is pretty much, there may be a better shot from the right, but this may be the best shot as well. So I'm going to kind of zoom in on the base there of the, underneath the orbital launch platform. That's going to be the goal here. We have a little bit sketchy. We lost reception a few times, but this may be a good spot. Possibly climbing up on the dunes too could get it to us. But I'm gonna start here. Got some photographers, a bunch of people showing up and moving. So we are gonna be catching people as they pass by here. Explore X. I think Explore X. I like that. That's a good profile name there. Explore. Nav 0407. Thanks for hanging in there, folks. I believe that is an explosion-proof door sitting there. That is a good point. I guess I can get a close-up shot of that. Let me get a shot of that door there. It was just kind of pointed out in the chat that this might be one of those doors. Not sure where it would have come from, but that could be one of those doors. Anyway, back to the launch platform here. This is kind of like a pilgrimage now. It's let me know if we're still good. I'm going to zoom in underneath the platform there. As I move the camera and the tripod around, we lose the reception. So I'm going to go for the base underneath the platform and see if we can get that while we're still live. So from here, we're going to zoom in and check it out as much from this angle as we can. Personally, I can see a little bit of rebar, but we have the sun we have the sun coming from the other side now. The sun is looking at the camera rather than from behind. Instead, the sun is toward us rather than away from us. So it's not the best shot. I can keep walking to the right here toward the road and maybe get a better shot underneath the platform there. That's what I think I'm probably going to do. I don't see the chat right now. It's not showing it to me as we're live streaming. It was a few minutes ago. Maybe I'll stay here a little bit longer. Maybe at least 10 minutes I'll stay here. Just kind of get the view, appreciate it for what it is. Yeah, hey Connor.
What's up, man?
Just getting some shots. I'm good. I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Nice to meet you again.
Oh, so if you were you here for the launch or?
No, I was watching though on a live stream.
Cool.
Do you want to say some words of wisdom to
Or
the?
you want to on the
Yeah.
screen? Okay.
All right, everybody. This is Connor.
Hey, everybody. Is it on or is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just looking at the view here, I think this is it's safe to say that that thing definitely kicked up a lot of concrete on the pad. That's for sure.
Right.
We're sitting right in front of some sort of a blast door that's sitting 10 feet away from us. Yeah, this definitely a scene out here on the launch site. Man. Yeah, there were pieces of concrete ejected all the way into the ocean. I mean, if you saw there, because SpaceX took a drone view from down above the dunes a bit down there, and it showed.
During the launch, I saw that.
You saw that? Yeah. So there's concrete all over the place, but yeah, man, this is amazing.
Yeah, I was out in Ohio and for like a week, and I made
Okay.
$1,300.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
nice, man.
That's
Cool.
good.
Oh, yeah.
It's good to do that.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. But it meant I wasn't here for the launch, but now I can do other stuff since I have money now. So, with the same company I was with, but I wasn't doing any welding, but I was doing grinding and other stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Nice, man. Well, that's cool. Cool.
Yeah, I have. So I got some property, and I'm looking to maybe buy some soil. I got some fir trees out there, so I might be one of the things this weekend to get some stuff for the
cool.
yeah, a little by little. I'll take some of that money I make and put it into the
The property.
yeah.
Okay, man. Cool. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I gotta go
Yeah.
head back, take the
Fair
paperwork.
enough,
So it was nice seeing you.
Yeah.
See you around.
Mm. All right, that was Connor from the. I think he is with Lab Padre, maybe. I think it's with Lab Padre. But he's we're friends.
Are you recording?
You're good, yeah.
Okay.
People are good. John Connor, right? That's funny. Sarah Connor, everybody Connor. Connor McGregor. Yeah, well, check out I believe he's on the Lab Padre team, and you might check out the Lab Padre here, one of the camera units. We get some closer shots here. Congo, type English. We're doing English only here. So we're looking west, a little bit north of west, about maybe 5-10 degrees north of west, but mostly west. and it is currently, let me get the time here, it's currently 4:18 p.m. So the sun is going to be setting in the direction that we're looking at here. Mr. Shuron, nice to see you. Good stuff. This time I think the paint did better on the legs of the orbital launch platform there this time around. I know that the static fire, they had a lot of issues, it looked like, in the past when they did the static fire, but the legs to me look pretty good this time. I don't know, you know, it looks like there's a lot of red there, so maybe a lot of rust possibly. I don't know what the red that we're seeing there on these legs of the platform. It's kind of a reddish, almost like a rusty type thing. I don't know if the metal there became fragile or not, but we're seeing a bunch of heated. Yeah, we're seeing these boxes they put around some of the areas there. Looked like they held up really good. Maybe they'll take a bunch of them off and put new boxes on. That's not that hard, but it takes a lot of welding to do that. It took them a while to weld all that stuff. And again, just looking at the ring on the orbital launch platform there, it looks really good to me. I don't see any real discoloration there. So I was saying earlier in the stream that maybe, see all this ground here that we're looking at, all this area down here where we're seeing all the concrete and the dirt. Maybe they could cover the ground with you know how you tile the floor of an apartment or of a room or something, or a patio. Maybe they could put metal on the ground, flat metal. They could put metal on the ground all around the launch platform there, and then just like you would in a barbecue or something else, you know, as long as it has metal on the ground or metal underneath the barbecue, you won't burn what's underneath it. So possibly they could just sheet metal the whole floor there, and even a good distance outside of the area directly beneath the platform there, that they could cover it with flat metal, and just maybe that would be the solution. Yeah. But there have been talks about some large trenches. Some people have suggested 4 trenches. You would have one trench here, like on each of the cardinal points, from the north, from the south, from the west, from the east. A trench with water going underneath it is one concept some people have talked about. Flame diverter too, says Johnny 303. Yeah, this is what I've heard before as well. A while back, Michael from the SpaceX Boca Chica group mentioned the flame diverters, that maybe they're going to install those, but they didn't. But possibly they would, right?
Yeah, because all this is just debris from there. You think it was over the water? Oh yeah. It was pretty cloudy out there.
Hi, the amazing Rando. Thanks for the info. But if you ever make it down here to the launch site, I'm going to pan to the right here. This seems to be developing into as you would any location, that any kind of tourist area. This is the big trek around the launch site. Staying to the right of these stakes here seems to be the chosen method for coming out and checking out around the launch pad. You see people just walking this way around the outside of the stakes. If you ever visit and if they don't change things, this is one way to get these views. The road is over there, goes directly to Boca Chica Boulevard to the beach. I'm going to move to the right again about maybe 300 feet and get a slightly different shot. Maybe we'll be able to see underneath the platform there, which we were trying to see before. I know if I use my Nikon camera, I could get the shot from here a decent amount, but still we wouldn't be able to see the crater from here. So I'm gonna have to keep moving. Give me like a minute or two and I'll move it. Yeah, thanks, Rob. Yeah, one of the interesting things is that, you know, SpaceX will take a bunch of time and develop stuff here, and then we'll see some of the other space agencies around the world come out with these much similar designs. Some of these countries and agencies who in the past have resorted to copying in order to stay relevant and improvise. So maybe as they build the flame diverter here, we will see some other countries and organizations around the world magically coming out with much similar designs and say, we did it first. They will say, SpaceX did it, but we did it also. We were doing it when they were doing it, and we did not copy SpaceX. I like when that happens. Alrighty. Yep.
How's the shooting going?
Fun. This is fun. Yeah.
You're not doing a video, are
Yeah. There's people watching. If you want to say who you are and where you're from, and I appreciate it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sure.
There's somebody here. He's going to take the mic for a little bit, say where he's from or whatever, and here you go.
Sure. Yeah, my name's Peter Davidian. I'm from Florida. I build nuclear stuff. I'm actually building nuclear rockets right now. So this is my mecca, you know. Like, I would not be anywhere else.
Do you have a company?
I just started a company. Yeah, Julia Pick.
Julia Beck.
PIC. Julia PIC. Yeah, Julia Pick. I just got the website up this morning.
If you want to get in front of the camera or whatever, but
Oh, sure.
note that the wind is blowing.
Yeah, okay. I'll try to shelter the wind a little bit. Hey everyone. What channel is this?
Space Ocean Corp.
It's what?
Space Ocean Corp.
Space Ocean Corp.
14,000 subscribers.
Oh, cool. Okay.
People watching.
Hey everyone. Yeah, nuclear engineer, nerd, you know, out here to see the coolest thing happening on the planet, you know. So, thanks for having me. Okay, sure. Yeah, one number I'm really curious about is the total number of gigawatts that this rocket was experiencing when taking off. I did a super rough calculation, just like the total combustion energy of the fuel, and then divided it by 3 minutes, you know, assumed equal power, and I got like 100 gigawatts. So I think that it's on the order of like 100 nuclear reactors going off, all in one little channel. So you can kind of see what 100 nuclear reactors going off would do, which actually it's really not that bad, you know.
What kind of timeline do you have for bringing something to market for nuclear stuff? Propulsion, or is that what you're doing?
Yeah, so I'm designing fusion rockets. Yeah. So if I had $100 million today,
Right.
if I had complete control of the company,
It's not that much money.
yeah, I wish, right? If that, I think that we could have a feasible design within 5 years.
Because I've got a company, we have an investor willing to put in $300 million. We're looking to raise another $4 to $8 billion.
Wow.
But,
Wow, yeah.
But,
That's a
probably
lot.
in the next 12 months we can raise that kind of money.
Gotcha.
If you have a design, we'd love to check out what you got.
Yeah. So I kind of have my own money. I feel so awkward saying that, but I do. So I'm actually going to self-fund. But I want the company to have like a minimum of like 100 billion valuation before I take any money, because I want to retain control.
That's good.
You know, so I'm kind of crazy, but I'm gonna try.
Cool. Are you on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
You want
Yeah.
to say your full name once more?
Yeah, sure. Peter Davidian. Devietien. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter. My full name on Twitter is Peter Davidian, but don't go to my Twitter because I'm insane. I shouldn't say all the things I say. You know, it's dangerous. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
I'll be in touch probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, message me on Twitter.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah.
Paul Lamakos. Nice to meet you.
Okay, nice to meet you too. Yeah, have a good day.
All right, everybody. That was good to chat with him. All right. Let's see what we're looking at. He just started his website this morning, but Davidian, or you can check it out. I will do my best to put a link in the description here to the gentleman's information. Yeah, one of the, I don't think it's like Branch Davidian type thing. I think it's a little bit different than that, but he did say the website, and we'll be able to check that out later. One of the, nuclear power is important for space and even for propulsion, because solar can only get you so far, and if you want to not only have a few hundred watts on your ship, or kilowatts if you want something bigger, it's important to have the nuclear stuff, especially in the colder environments where the solar is not going to work for you, like we were talking earlier about the very some of the craters on the moon where there is water. You're going to need nuclear power to be able to power your craft, or to heat it up or something. And if they had a much better propulsion, nuclear power can last longer. You're not going to run out of the fuel as you would if you just had some propellant or something like that. Okay, so we're going to get a different shot. I'm going to move down the ways here, and here we go. This may be the next 10 minutes, maybe the last 10 minutes of the live stream here, and then I will take a break, probably check out the beach and see what comes next. But I'm going to see if I can get one other shot on the underneath the orbital launch platform there, and see if we can see the crater they've spoken about. I'm carrying the Nikon camera and some other equipment here too, so it's not just a get up and move type thing. I will organize things later. And I'm going to move everything right now. I'm going to move. In 3, 2, 1. Let me zoom out. Here we go. Probably going to be about a minute. I'll walk for a minute and then get the shot. There is a shot from the road where we can get another good look at the base of the orbital launch platform, and that may be where some of those close-up shots came from, because from here looking west from the east side of the launch site, we really can't see much underneath the platform there, but I believe maybe over to the side of the road over there, to the right side of the toward in this kind of general area of the screen, in the center of the screen by the road, we can get that shot of the base of the orbital launch platform much better. See, we're coming up onto some metal outside of the stakes here. This is from something, I'm not sure from what. It's kind of a nice shot here. So this is some piece of metal here. I'm not sure where it's from or what it is or whatnot, but this is, we don't normally see metal just hanging out here. Yeah, we're not gonna be able to get that shot from here underneath the orbital launch platform. But we did get a lot of other shots that were cool. And we'll be checking out the beach and some other stuff. I'll post some other shots. You gotta stay outside of the... These guys are inside the gate here. I don't know if they work for SpaceX or not, but let them deal with it. These guys might get a rude awakening as they're walking around there if they don't work for SpaceX. They're not supposed to be inside the gate. All right, so I'm gonna sign out here. Very nice to chat with you all, and I will get to read the comments later. These comments will get saved for history, so if you'd like to put a comment here for your future self or somebody else in the distant future to read and to know that you were looking at SpaceX at this time of day, 4:35 p.m. on April 22nd, 2023, looking at the memorial or the immortal SpaceX launch tower with the chopsticks open, quick disconnect to the right, and booster is no more. Rupert, Mr. Chiron, nice to see you. Best of luck to everybody. Cool thing is we're all connected, and I believe we will meet again in this lifetime and many other lifetimes throughout all that is. Igor, nice to see you. We'll end the stream in 50 seconds. I'm gonna go to the beach, check it out, maybe take my shoes off. Yeah, it was nice being here. Arik, thanks. There's a lot of other photographers here, so check out the YouTube channels in the coming days. There's gonna be a lot more close-up shots and all kind of stuff coming out. Many photographers on site getting good shots. And stay in touch. SpaceX will be having future launches coming up. They didn't put these stakes here. Tested the first launch, and they will be here for many more launches. These take a while to put in. They install them all around the launch site, and the reason they installed them all along the launch site is because they believe there's going to be more launches ahead. So, given that there are many stakes here that are still standing after the first launch, that means we've got more to look forward to. Best of luck to you on your day, whenever you're watching this, wherever you're watching from. Maybe you're in another dimension looking back or looking forward or looking in a parallel dimension. See you on the next one. In 5, 4, 3, 2,